Our LV Game of the Week took us to Neville Road in Bristol as Alistair Cook played in his final first-class match ahead of the Ashes, which are now only 2.5 weeks away. Before he could make a start, he should have lost Nick Brown at the other end, only for Geraint Jones to spill the chance. James Fuller was the unlucky bowler there, and his day nearly went from bad to worse when he went over on his ankle in his delivery stride. Thankfully, he was able to continue after some moments of concern for the Kiwi. He would have been pleased to see that his leg was still there. Cook had a chance to shine on day one after his county captain James Foster had won the toss and elected to bat first. And Cook and his opening partner Brown, who must love having this opportunity, made the most of the nice conditions in the West Country as they started this game with an opening partnership of 58 runs scored in the first 14 overs. Both played some gorgeous shots, especially down the ground, the kind of strokes which suggested that there was not too much for the quick bowlers to get excited about. Brown had made 36 of those runs, outscoring the England skipper when he gave Liam Norwell his 30th wicket of the championship season. Jack Taylor the man with the catch at mid-wicket. Brown perhaps leaving with the thought that he might have been better, continuing to play his shots in the arc between mid-off and mid-on. Essex are an improving team. A really bad run, including a 9-wicket loss at home to these opponents last month, had seen them slip to the foot of the table before they hammered Derbyshire last week. That game gave Cook only one innings, one in which he made 80, and he and Tom Westley were the ones now who kept the home attack at bay for much of the rest of the morning session. The pitch appeared to be a good one to bat on, and these two, who both have the ability to bat for a long period of time, must have started to lick their lips once the shine went off the new ball. They added 54 more runs for the second wicket, taking the total up to 112. Only for Cook, who'd been dropped on 30, to be trapped in front by a good one from the medium pace of Benny Howell in his 6th over. England's greatest run machine headed off, having spent 106 minutes at the crease for his 48 runs, which had used up 71 balls, from which he'd struck 9 fours. Lunch was taken with Essex on 121 for 2, and Westley was then out to the second ball after the restart for 33. Jones, who doesn't keep much these days, delighted to hold on to this edge of the bowling of Norwell, who took 10 wickets in the previous game between these two teams. Norwell and Craig Miles have both had excellent seasons with the ball, and it was the latter who now started to cause some problems. He had Ravi Bopara dropped in the slips and then thought he'd done enough here to see the back of Jesse Ryder before he caused too much damage. Thankfully for Gloucestershire, he didn't, a ball from Norwell arriving on him quicker than he expected to give Jones some more work to do behind the stumps. Ryder was on his way for 17, made out of his side's 163 for 4. Essex unable to get away from their hosts, who were celebrating once again in the next over when Bopara, who'd made a sometimes scratchy 30, was trapped in front by Fuller. It was now all smiles for the home team, one which has surprised a lot of watchers this summer, their youthful attack producing some excellent performances. However, they were now held up for the rest of the afternoon by Foster and Ryan Ten-Descarter, who both batted sensibly to balance this first day back up. Foster was especially onto anything even a fraction short, and by the time the tea break arrived, he'd moved on to 41, adding 72 runs with his partner, which had Essex on 241 for 5 going into the day's final session. Foster was at a 50 shortly after the restart, an innings thus far using up 160 deliveries, from which the Essex captain had struck 7 fours and a 6. His partnership with Ten-Descarter was now closing in on 3 figures. It was the one which made sure that this wasn't the Gloucester's day. Foster continued to play some shots when he could as this stand continued to build into the evening, while Ten-Descarter finally removed the shackles to send this ball from Taylor over the rope for a 6. This pair had added 115 runs for the 6th wicket, but then, just before the second new ball was due, Foster on 63 was held at the second attempt of his own bowling by Howell, who was having a pretty good day with the ball. His third success came when he trapped Graham Napier in front for a single, a wicket which now reduced the visitors to 292 for 7. Howell with a fist pump similar to the one often used by his doppelganger Novak Djokovic. Jones kept the old ball for an extra 8 overs, Essex earning their third batting bonus point, before the second new cherry had some success straight away, as Fuller found the edge of Matt Salisbury's bat with a total now on 302 for 8. Thankfully, as far as Essex were concerned, they still had Tender Scarter at the crease and going well, with some sumptuous strokes such as this one. Just his 4th 4 though, in an innings which lasted 147 deliveries. This was his last one as Jones grabbed his 4th catch of the day behind the stumps. Tender Scarter gone for 73 after surviving for 3.5 hours. Miles finally getting a wicket his display on this day deserved. And we had a neat conclusion to the day as Essex were all out to the final ball. Jamie Porter offering Fuller his 3rd wicket as Essex were dismissed for 319, a total which will only be judged once Gloucestershire get to bat on this pitch on the 2nd day.
I think it's a good pitch, to be honest. I think we're probably a little bit disappointed standing here tonight. Ideally would have liked minimum probably 350, but it is what it is. But I think a lot of credit goes to Gloucester boys. You know, after lunch they came in and put a real shift in there, hit the pitch hard and bowled nicely, and I think we have to do something similar tomorrow.
I think it's a good wicket. I think if we can get through the first hour tomorrow, I think it's a decent batting wicket. So hopefully, you know, we can rack up about 400 and plus or whatever for our first innings. It'd be great.
Fuller took 3 for 85, Norwell 3 for 75 and Howell 3 for 50 on what appears, at least for now, to have been an even day. Gloucestershire will look to their batsmen to work hard when play continues on Monday morning.